The shuttle from Earth drifted down through the clouds of the Galactic Unified Academy's orbiting station. The vast spires of the Academy shimmered like silver needles against the blue of the planet below. Inside the shuttle, cadets from across the galaxy were whispering and fidgeting. They had never seen a human in person before. Among them was Aria Voss, a girl from a planet known only as Deathworld Prime. On her world, storms tore through the land daily. Predators stalked the forests, and even the air could burn if you stayed outside too long. Life on Deathworld had shaped Aria into something unique, small in size compared to most aliens, but fast, sharp, and unyielding. She had survived what no ordinary human could, and the galaxy had not yet seen her full strength. As the shuttle landed, Aria's gray eyes scanned the platform. Alien cadets crowded the docking bay. Scaly Delrans towered over the crowd, their sharp teeth glinting. The Vectrians floated slightly above the floor, their translucent skin glowing faintly. Even the Sylph, with their many limbs and insect-like eyes, stared at the human girl with suspicion. Whispers followed her wherever she went. "Did you hear?" a Delran cadet muttered to his friend. "They say humans from Deathworlds are different, dangerous." "Dangerous or not, she looks tiny," his companion replied, smirking. "She will last one day before the instructors send her home." Aria heard nothing. She walked calmly, her boots making soft clicks on the metal floor. Years of training had taught her to keep her mind clear, her emotions steady, and her reflexes ready. She didn't need to prove anything yet. Let the universe watch. The instructor's voice boomed over the docking bay's speakers. "Cadets of the Galactic Unified Academy, welcome. You are here to learn. Discipline and control are more important than strength. Follow orders, respect your peers, and survive the training. Humans, stand forward." All eyes turned to Aria as she stepped out from the shuttle. The cadets were silent, some hiding astonishment behind expressions of mockery. A human girl walking calmly among a group of aliens who were twice her size? It seemed impossible. Sergeant Krull, a towering reptilian with scales the color of dark bronze, stepped forward. His eyes scanned Aria from head to toe. "Deathworlder," he said, his voice deep and rough, "you have survived your world. That alone gives you advantage. But remember, strength without control is chaos. Keep your reflexes ready. Your first class is close quarter tactics. You will train with your peers. Do not underestimate them, and they should not underestimate you." Aria nodded silently. She had not come here to talk. She had come to learn, to survive, and to grow stronger. The first day of training was both thrilling and exhausting. Cadets were taught hand-to-hand combat, agility drills, and weapon handling. Aliens of all kinds moved with speed and precision. Delrans lunged with claws that could tear metal. Vectrians shifted their weight with unnatural balance. And Sylph moved in multiple directions at once, their limbs striking from unexpected angles. Aria watched carefully, absorbing every movement. She noticed how each alien had a predictable rhythm, a pattern to their strikes and defenses. Humans had their own style too, born from instinct and survival rather than sheer size or strength. She remembered her world, how she had dodged predators, climbed cliffs, and fought her way out of storms. Every lesson there had prepared her for this moment. During a brief break, a group of Delran cadets approached her. Their leader, a tall, scaly male named Relt, towered over her and smirked. "So you are the famous Deathworld human," he said, his voice dripping with amusement. "I have heard stories. They say your people are strong, but we will see how strong you really are." Aria tilted her head slightly. She remained calm. "I am not here to impress anyone," she replied evenly. "I am here to learn and survive. You should focus on that too." Relt's tail flicked in irritation. "We will see if your words match your actions. Little human." He leaned closer and reached out his claw toward her shoulder, intending to startle her. What happened next was almost instantaneous. Every muscle in Aria's body reacted before she even realized it herself. Years of living on a death world had taught her reflexes faster than thought. She stepped aside, grabbed Relt's wrist, twisted it, and pushed him backward with enough force to send him sprawling to the floor. His weapon clattered away, and for a moment the entire training hall fell silent. Sergeant Krull's eyes widened. He opened his mouth to shout, but before a sound came, it was already over. Aria stood calmly, her posture relaxed, her gray eyes cold but steady. Relt struggled to get up, embarrassed and stunned by the speed and strength of the human girl. The other cadets stared in disbelief. No one had ever reacted that fast, with that precision. A human, smaller than most of them, had taken down a Delran in seconds without even appearing to strain. You did that before the instructor even breathed," whispered one of the Vectrians. Sergeant Krull stepped forward, nodding slowly. "Control, reaction, precision, that is strength. Remember it." His voice carried authority, but there was a hint of pride as well. "You reacted perfectly, Deathworlder. Do not let arrogance dictate your actions. You are strong, but discipline is what makes you unstoppable." Relt got to his feet, glaring but silent, pride wounded, but unwilling to attack again in front of the instructor. Arya simply turned and walked away, finishing her drills with calm determination. By the end of the first day, the whispers were everywhere. Cadets who had doubted humans were now wary. Those who had only heard legends were now convinced. Humans were not ordinary beings. They were survivors trained by worlds that tested life at every turn. Arya didn't care about fame or reputation. She focused on her next challenge, knowing every class would test not just strength but patience, intelligence, and control. On Deathworld, she had learned that survival depended on all three, and she would carry that lesson into the galaxy. As the sun set over the Academy station, Arya looked out at the stars. Somewhere beyond those twinkling lights were planets with civilizations that had never faced a human in battle. She felt a quiet determination. The galaxy had underestimated her species for too long, and she would show them what a Deathworld human could do, without even needing to breathe a word. The day after the first incident, the Academy was buzzing with whispers. Cadets who had mocked Arya yesterday now stared at her with cautious respect. Some were curious. Some were afraid. None ignored her anymore. Arya, however, stayed calm. She walked through the Academy corridors as if nothing had happened. Though her gray eyes were always alert, she knew that reputation alone would not help her survive here. In the Galactic Unified Academy, legends mattered less than skill, speed, and the ability to adapt. Sergeant Krull approached her as she entered the training hall. "Today's session will be different," he said. "You will participate in a live simulation. Each squad will face a challenge designed to test coordination, strategy, and quick thinking under pressure. You will work with cadets who may not trust you. Lead well and you will survive. Fail and, well, you'll learn from mistakes," Arya nodded. "Understood, Sergeant." The cadets were divided into squads. Arya's squad included an assortment of species she had never worked with before. There was Relt, still scowling but quieter. Vexa, a Vectrian with translucent, glowing limbs that could strike like whips. And Silithar, a Sylth whose multiple arms moved with incredible speed. "Looks like we're stuck with a human," Relt muttered quietly to Vexa, though his eyes betrayed a flicker of respect. Arya ignored him. "Focus on the mission," she said. "We win if we work together, not if we fight each other." The instructor activated the simulation. A holographic environment appeared around them, creating dense forests, crumbling ruins, and deep ravines. Sensors registered every movement, every strike, every tactical choice. "You will retrieve the energy core from the enemy zone." Krull's voice boomed. "No unnecessary risks. Use teamwork. Remember your survival training." Immediately the squad encountered their first obstacle, a narrow bridge spanning a deep chasm. Vexa moved first, her limbs extending like flexible ropes to secure the bridge. Silithar shifted multiple arms in perfect coordination, providing balance for the team. Relt moved cautiously, clearly uneasy at being second. Arya stepped forward. Her instincts kicked in. She adjusted her footing slightly with a precision born from years on Deathworld. One misstep here and a fall could be fatal. Her balance was perfect, and she crossed the bridge with ease, even helping Silithar and Vexa maintain stability. "Impressive," Vexa whispered, eyes widening. "The human. She's stable, fast, and precise." Arya gave no response, only continued scanning the surroundings. Every leaf, every rock, every shadow could hide a danger, even in a simulation. As they reached the enemy zone, the real challenge began. Hostile holographic units appeared, fast-moving, unpredictable, and armed with energy blasters. The cadets scattered, dodging attacks, firing back, and trying to regroup. Relt panicked and froze for a moment as a unit closed in. Arya reacted instantly. She grabbed his arm, rolled him to the side, and used a quick push to knock him behind cover. "Move, keep your head up," she shouted. Vexa extended her limbs to block an incoming shot, while Silithar's multiple arms struck the units in perfect rhythm. Arya's movements were fluid, almost instinctive. Every action had a purpose, every reaction timed precisely. She wasn't just fast, she was predictive. Years on Deathworld had taught her to anticipate threats before they fully manifested. By the time the instructor's voice echoed, signaling the end of the first wave, Arya's squad had neutralized the units with minimal damage to themselves. In the brief pause before the next wave, cadets whispered among themselves. "She's not just strong, she's smart," said a young Delran observing from the sidelines. "Deathworlders," another replied. "They say the environment there trains humans differently. Every step, every movement is survival." Arya didn't notice. She scanned the terrain, anticipating the next wave. Her mind was a map of possibilities. Each decision waited for speed and efficiency. The simulation was a test, yes, but it was also a lesson. Every mission, every obstacle, every cadet beside her could become a factor in life or death. The second wave was even harder. Holographic enemy units appeared with coordinated strategies, flanking the squad from multiple directions. Relt's nerves threatened to break again, but Arya stayed calm. She instructed the team. "Vexa, cover the left flank. Silithar, take the right. Relt, stay with me. Watch my movements, react fast." She moved first, dashing ahead, drawing enemy fire and dodging with movements so precise that the holographic units could barely touch her. She redirected attacks subtly, using minimal effort to force enemies into disadvantageous positions. Then she struck. Her strikes were sharp, efficient, and devastating, not overpowered but perfectly calculated. Relt copied her moves, following her lead. Vexa adapted her limbs to Arya's timing. Silithar coordinated attacks like a machine synced with Arya's instincts. In minutes, the wave was over. The instructor's voice echoed again, this time with approval. "Excellent coordination. Survival instincts strong. Leadership emerging. Well done, Deathworlder. Your squad performed beyond expectation." As the simulation ended, Arya's squad gathered. Relt, once hostile and arrogant, finally looked her in the eye. You saved us. All of us, He stopped, clearly unsure how to express respect. "Focus on the mission," Arya said calmly. "Next time you'll be ready." Vexa, glowing faintly with admiration, whispered, "I've never worked with someone like you. Your instincts, your control. It's incredible." Arya only nodded. She didn't seek praise. She sought mastery. Later, in the dining hall, cadets discussed the simulation feverishly. News of Arya's performance had spread across the academy faster than the shuttle's speed. Some cadets who had mocked her now whispered about forming alliances. Others simply avoided her, knowing that underestimating a human, especially a Deathworlder, was dangerous. Sergeant Krull observed quietly from a corner. He had seen many cadets in his long career, but humans, Deathworlders, were different. They didn't just survive. They adapted, controlled, and dominated without showing arrogance. Arya had the calm of a predator and the precision of a master tactician. He made a mental note to test her further. "Strength and speed are impressive," he murmured, "but the next phase will test intellect and strategy. Let's see how she adapts." That night, Arya returned to her quarters. The room was small and simple, with barely enough space for her gear and bed. She sat on the edge, reviewing the day in her mind. Each move, each reaction, each choice she had made replayed like a holographic map. On Deathworld, mistakes had consequences. Every predator, storm, or misstep could have ended her life. Here in the academy, the consequences were controlled, but the lessons were the same. Remain alert, predict threats, and never let arrogance cloud judgment. She stretched, feeling her muscles still tense from the day's training, but there was a quiet satisfaction in her chest. She had survived her first real challenge at the academy, and she had proven to herself and everyone else that humans from Deathworlds were not ordinary. Somewhere far above, the stars glittered. Arya allowed herself a brief smile. The galaxy was bigger, stranger, and more dangerous than she had ever imagined, but she was ready. And as whispers of the Deathworld girl who defeated a Delran before the instructor breathed spread through the academy, Arya silently promised herself this was only the beginning. The sun of the academy station rose like molten gold over the horizon, casting long shadows across the training grounds. Today's exercise was not a simulation. It was the survival drill, a test designed to push cadets to their absolute limits, blending strategy, agility, and raw endurance. Sergeant Krull stood at the center of the field, his eyes scanning the cadets assembled before him. "Today," he began, his deep voice echoing across the grounds, "you will survive in conditions designed to mimic the deadliest planets in the galaxy. Each squad will face hostile environments, unpredictable terrain, and tactical surprises. Only the cadets who work together will succeed. Humans, Deathworlders, take note. Survival comes not from strength alone, but from mind, body, and reflex." Arya's gray eyes narrowed with focus. She had faced deadly storms and predators on her home planet, but the Academy would challenge her in new ways. She tightened the straps of her harness and adjusted her boots. Nothing here would catch her off guard. The squads were deployed into different zones. Arya's squad entered a dense jungle environment, a tangle of oversized plants, vines, and treacherous cliffs. Mist hung thick in the air, making visibility poor. Sensors in the foliage emitted soft warnings of traps and hazards. The ground was uneven and unstable, and hidden obstacles lurked beneath every leaf and stone. Vexa's translucent limbs glowed faintly as she tested the area. "This place feels alive," she whispered. "Every step could trigger something." Arya nodded. "Move carefully, but keep momentum. Hesitation can cost more than a misstep." Relt's tail flicked nervously. He looked at the dense foliage, then at Arya. I've never had to think this fast. This is worse than the simulations." Arya's voice was calm but firm. "Focus on observation. Watch the environment, anticipate threats, and trust your instincts. Follow my lead and you'll survive this drill." As they moved deeper into the jungle, the first challenge appeared. A chasm too wide to jump. The squad paused, evaluating options. A series of thin, flexible branches stretched across the gap, swaying dangerously. Arya's eyes scanned the branches, calculating weight distribution and tension. She stepped forward with fluid precision, testing the first branch. It creaked but held. She moved carefully, balancing with her arms outstretched, then motioned for the others to follow. Vexa's limbs adjusted automatically, extending to stabilize the human and other cadets. Silithar's multiple arms allowed her to grip the branches and pull herself across with ease. Relt hesitated for a moment, but Arya's steady gaze encouraged him. "Step lightly. Trust yourself." Slowly, carefully, the squad crossed the chasm, each cadet following Arya's example. Their hearts pounded, adrenaline coursing, but no one fell. Beyond the chasm, the jungle became even more dangerous. Predatory drones, mechanical creatures designed to simulate alien predators, stalked the cadets. They were fast, silent, and adaptive. Most squads panicked at the first encounter, but Arya's team moved like a single organism. "Flank left," she instructed. "Draw the drones into the clearing. Then trap them with coordinated strikes." The squad obeyed, moving silently. Arya darted ahead, luring a drone into an open space. She ducked a sweeping mechanical arm and sidestepped with the grace of a shadow. Vexa extended her limbs to trap the drone's movement. Silithar struck multiple precise blows to its sensors, temporarily disabling it. Relt finally found his courage, using his strength to push it into a net set up by Arya. In minutes, all the drones in their immediate area were neutralized. The other squads struggled, falling into traps or panicking under pressure. Arya's calm, precise movements ensured her team survived where others failed. After clearing the first wave, the squad paused to assess injuries and recalibrate sensors. Relt, breathing heavily, looked at Arya in awe. I didn't think we could survive that. You led us perfectly." "I thank you," Arya gave a small nod. "We're not done yet. Stay focused. The drill isn't over until the end signal." As they moved forward, a sudden rumble shook the ground. Holographic boulders fell from the cliffs above, creating obstacles and blocking their path. The squad split briefly to navigate the terrain, but Arya kept constant communication. "Silithar, flank left and hold the path," she instructed. "Vexa, extend your limbs to stabilize the rocks." "Relt, follow me closely." Arya darted through a narrow path, her body moving with instinctive grace. Each step, each leap was precise. She pulled Relt across a sudden gap, adjusted Vexa's balance, and guided Silithar through a collapsing tunnel. For the first time, Relt truly saw the difference between a Deathworld human and the rest of them. On her planet, survival wasn't just about strength. It was about predicting threats, staying calm, and adapting instantly. The final obstacle was a deep ravine filled with swirling fog and unstable platforms. Cadets had to retrieve a glowing energy core at the far end and return safely. Many squads failed at this stage, slipping, misjudging distances, or falling into the fog. Arya studied the platforms carefully. She could see faint shadows through the mist, hidden sensors that would trigger traps. She mapped a path in her mind and signaled the squad. "Follow exactly," she said. "One mistake and we fail. Move slow, steady, precise." Step by step the squad advanced. Arya led from the front, balancing on narrow platforms with perfect grace. Vexa stabilized the platforms with her extended limbs. Silithar coordinated precise movements to counter shifting stones. And Relt, still nervous, followed Arya's exact footsteps, trusting her instinct over his fear. The energy core shimmered at the far edge. Arya grabbed it, signaling the squad. "Return the same way. Watch each other. Trust the path." The return journey was tense. Fog thickened and the platform shifted dangerously. A single slip could end their drill. But Arya remained calm, her body moving with the speed and precision that only a Deathworlder could master. Step by step they returned. The last cadet crossed safely and the squad completed the drill. Silence fell over the grounds before Sergeant Krull's booming voice echoed. "Squad complete. Exceptional performance. You survived the survival drill where most cadets failed." Cadets gathered around Arya, murmuring among themselves. Some nodded in respect. Others approached cautiously, unsure how to address a human who had proven so much. Relt finally spoke aloud, his voice steady. "Deathworlder, you didn't just survive. You taught us how to survive. I want to learn more from you." Arya smiled faintly. "Then watch, listen, and practice. Survival isn't about fear, it's about preparation and focus. Learn that, and you'll last in this academy." Vexa extended her limbs gently in acknowledgement. "I've never seen anything like this. Humans, especially Deathworlders, are remarkable." Even Silithar, who rarely spoke, nodded in agreement. "Your instincts are precise. You are not just strong, you are extraordinary." That evening, the cadets returned to the academy halls. Arya went to her quarters exhausted but focused. She reflected on the day's events. The survival drill had tested more than speed or strength. It had tested her mind, her leadership, and her ability to anticipate and react. Every cadet she helped survive had learned, even unknowingly, the value of calm precision under pressure. On her home planet, she had survived storms, predators, and impossible terrain. Here in the academy, she was learning to survive against new threats: alien cadets, mechanical predators, and environmental hazards. Each challenge was different, but her instincts were the same: anticipate, react, adapt, survive. As the stars gleamed beyond the academy's transparent dome, Arya silently promised herself that she would continue to grow stronger. She had proven herself once. She had led others through danger once. But the galaxy was vast, full of challenges even greater than the academy. And one day she would show the entire universe why Deathworld humans were not just survivors. They were a force to be reckoned with. The morning light bathed the Galactic Unified Academy in a golden hue. Arya Voss woke before the alarms, her gray eyes reflecting the first rays of the sun. After the survival drill, the academy buzzed with whispers of her abilities. But Arya didn't seek recognition. She sought improvement, precision, and mastery over herself. Today was different. The instructors had announced an elite challenge, a high-stakes exercise for the top cadets in each squad. Only those who had shown exceptional skill and leadership were selected. Sergeant Krull appeared in the hall, his massive figure cutting an imposing silhouette against the light. "Today's challenge," he began, "will test not only strength and survival but also intelligence, adaptability, and team coordination under extreme pressure. Cadets chosen for this exercise have already demonstrated they are capable. Use your skills wisely." Arya felt a familiar rush of focus. Elite challenge or not, her training on Deathworld had prepared her for the impossible. Every predator, every storm, every battle she had faced on her homeworld had sharpened her instincts. She was ready. When the cadets were assembled, Arya noted the other chosen participants. Most were aliens, Delrans with sharp claws, Vekrians with glowing limbs, Sylths with multiple arms and incredible agility. Some were taller, some faster, but none had the calm, honed instincts of a Deathworld human. Relt, who had once mocked her, now nodded respectfully. "Ready?" he asked, his usual arrogance replaced with cautious trust. Arya nodded. "Stay focused. Observe, react, adapt. Don't overthink, don't panic. Follow my lead, and we'll finish this challenge together." The Elite Challenge was announced. Cadets would navigate an urban combat simulation, complete with collapsed structures, hidden traps, and mobile enemy units. Success required not only skill but speed, coordination, and clear thinking under stress. As the simulation began, Arya's squad moved quickly, scanning every corner and alley. The first obstacle was a series of broken catwalks suspended high above the simulation floor. Vexa tested the supports with her limbs. "They're unstable," she whispered. Arya studied the structure, calculating weight distribution. She moved forward, testing each step carefully. "Follow my path exactly," she instructed. "Do not rush." Her squad followed, each member moving in precise synchronization. Relt initially hesitated but quickly adapted to her rhythm. Silithar adjusted her multiple arms to maintain balance for herself and others. Step by step, they crossed the catwalks without a single misstep while other squads stumbled and fell, losing precious time. The next challenge was a sudden ambush. Holographic enemy units appeared from hidden passages, firing energy bolts in rapid succession. Most cadets panicked under the barrage, but Arya's instincts kicked in. "Spread out. Use cover," she commanded. Her voice was calm, clear, and precise, an anchor in the chaos. She rolled to the side, dodging an energy blast, and used her momentum to knock a unit off balance. Vexa extended her limbs to shield Relt, while Silithar struck multiple enemies at once. Relt finally understood the difference between the humans from Deathworld and other species. Their reflexes were honed by survival instincts, not just training. Every move Arya made was calculated and effective. In seconds, her squad neutralized the ambush with minimal damage. As they advanced, Arya noticed another squad moving ahead aggressively. They were known for brute strength and speed, but they lacked teamwork. Arya made a quick decision. Instead of confronting them directly, she guided her squad to a strategic position, allowing the rival squad to fall into a trap of their own making. The rival squad crashed into a simulated barricade, losing precious time and resources. Arya's squad moved past quietly without alerting them. "Strategic thinking," Vexa whispered. "You didn't just fight. You outsmarted them." Arya only nodded. Brute force was rarely the answer. Observing, predicting, and using intelligence often led to victory faster and safer than any reckless attack. The final stage of the Elite Challenge was the extraction of a data core from the center of the simulated city. The core was heavily guarded, and the path was filled with hazards: crumbling buildings, electrified floors, and fast-moving enemy drones. Arya paused at the entrance, studying the situation. She mapped out a path in her mind, considering every obstacle, every potential enemy strike. "Follow my lead. Trust my movement. Keep close and react quickly." The squad advanced cautiously. Arya moved like a shadow, dodging debris, leaping over gaps, and avoiding traps instinctively. Vexa extended her limbs to stabilize unstable structures, while Silithar neutralized drones with precise, rapid strikes. Relt, learning from every step, followed closely, mirroring her instincts and timing. The squad reached the data core. Arya grabbed it, signaling the others. "Hold your positions. Cover the exit route. Move when I give the signal." The return path was far more dangerous. Drones appeared in greater numbers. Structures collapsed without warning, and enemy units attempted to flank them. But Arya remained calm, her body and mind perfectly synchronized. Step by step, the squad retreated, neutralizing threats efficiently and without panic. By the time they reached the exit point, the Elite Challenge had ended. Sergeant Krull's voice boomed across the simulation hall. "Completion confirmed. Exceptional performance. The human cadet from Deathworld has once again demonstrated why instinct, precision, and calm control can surpass raw strength and size." Cadets whispered among themselves, stunned. "She didn't just survive," one said. "She led. She strategized. She outsmarted every challenge." Relt approached Arya, a mix of respect and admiration in his eyes. "Deathworlder, you are incredible. I've never seen anyone move like that." Arya smiled faintly. "It's not about being incredible. It's about staying calm, observing, and acting. Everyone can do this if they train their mind as much as their body." Vexa extended a limb in acknowledgement. "You've taught us something today. Humans, you're more than legends." Later in the training halls, cadets discussed the Elite Challenge in hushed tones. Some felt inspired. Others felt challenged to improve. But all knew one thing: underestimating Arya Voss, the Deathworld girl, was now impossible. Even Sergeant Krull, who had seen countless cadets pass through his training grounds, was impressed. Humans from Deathworlds, he muttered to himself. They're not just survivors. They're leaders, tacticians, and predators in their own right. Arya returned to her quarters that evening, exhausted but satisfied. She reviewed the day's events in her mind, analyzing every movement, every decision, and every response. On Deathworld, mistakes could end life. Here the stakes were different, but the lesson remained. Anticipation, calm, and precision mattered more than brute force. She allowed herself a brief moment to look out at the stars beyond the Academy dome. Each twinkle reminded her that the galaxy was vast, full of dangers, wonders, and opportunities. Today she had proven herself again. Tomorrow would be another challenge, another lesson, another chance to show that humans from Deathworlds were unlike any other species in the galaxy. And somewhere in the Academy, the whispers spread further. Never underestimate a Deathworld human. They don't just survive, they master every challenge before it even begins. The Galactic Unified Academy had never seen a trial like this. The final trial was designed to challenge everything a cadet had learned: strength, intelligence, endurance, teamwork, and instinct. It combined environmental hazards, tactical combat, and unpredictable scenarios. Only those truly exceptional could survive it. Arya Voss stood at the edge of the arena, her gray eyes calm, her posture steady. The arena was a massive structure of shifting landscapes, dense forests, crumbling urban ruins, sudden cliffs, and swirling fog. Holographic and real hazards were blended seamlessly to create the most dangerous environment the Academy could devise. Sergeant Krull's booming voice echoed across the field. This is your final test, cadets. Every mistake will be punished. Every hesitation could be fatal. Only those who master their skills, instincts, and teamwork will survive. Begin. Arya's heart remained steady. She had survived Deathworld storms, predators, and the survival drill. The elite challenge had tested her leadership. Now the final trial would test her ability to combine every skill she had learned into one perfect performance. Her squad assembled quickly. Relt, once her rival, now a trusted ally, stood ready beside her. Vexa, the glowing Vecrean, adjusted her limbs in preparation. Silithar's multiple arms flexed, ready to strike. The squad's coordination had grown immensely over the past weeks. Listen carefully, Arya said calmly. We move as one. Observe everything. React instantly. Follow my lead, but think independently. Every choice matters. They entered the forested section first. Thick vines hung from towering trees, and hidden sensors detected every movement. Predatory drones, faster and more intelligent than before, waited in the shadows. Arya's instincts guided the squad. She moved with silent precision, ducking, rolling, and leaping as drones attacked. Vexa, cover the left flank. Silithar, neutralize the drones ahead. Relt, stay close and mirror my moves. The squad moved like a single organism. Each cadet anticipated the other's movements, creating a perfect balance between offense and defense. Even the drones designed to adapt struggled to predict their actions. The next section was a crumbling urban zone. Buildings tilted dangerously. Debris scattered the ground, and hidden pitfalls threatened to trap the cadets. Most squads panicked, falling behind or triggering traps. Arya studied the environment carefully. Every step, every jump, every handhold was calculated. She led her squad across unstable floors, guiding them over broken bridges and around hidden traps. A misstep could have ended the drill for any of them, but her calm precision kept everyone safe. At one point, a massive piece of debris collapsed behind them, cutting off their path. The squad froze for a split second. Arya assessed the situation. She spotted a narrow gap along a broken wall, enough for the squad to slip through. Follow me closely, she instructed. Step lightly. Move fast. One by one, they navigated the gap. Relt nearly stumbled, but Arya's steady hand guided him. Stay calm. Trust your instincts, she said quietly. As they progressed, the most dangerous part of the trial appeared. The fog valley. Thick, blinding fog obscured all vision. Sensors indicated the presence of hidden drones and shifting platforms. Many cadets hesitated, lost in the mist. Arya's gray eyes pierced the fog as if seeing beyond it. She relied on sound, vibration, and instinct rather than sight. Move silently. Watch the ground. Listen carefully. Step by step they advanced. Silithar used her multiple arms to probe the fog ahead, signaling hidden dangers. Vexa extended limbs to stabilize platforms and detect pressure-sensitive traps. Relt, now learning to rely on instincts rather than fear, moved fluidly beside Arya. The squad's coordination was flawless. They avoided every trap, neutralized every drone, and advanced steadily through the valley. For the first time in the trial, the instructors watching remotely began to murmur in amazement. The final obstacle was the climactic showdown. The arena opened into a massive open zone, filled with both stationary hazards and moving threats. Holographic and real enemies moved in coordinated patterns, attempting to overwhelm the cadets. Arya assessed the situation quickly. The enemy formations were predictable if watched carefully, but overwhelming if attacked recklessly. She devised a strategy instantly. Relt, take the left flank. Draw attention. Vexa, cover the center and stabilize the environment. Silithar, stay with me. Follow my movements exactly. Timing is everything. The squad moved with synchronized precision. Arya darted forward, dodging attacks and striking at weak points. Vexa extended limbs to protect Relt, allowing him to bait enemies into traps. Silithar neutralized threats with rapid, calculated strikes. Every move was deliberate, every decision precise. The enemy's coordination faltered. Arya's squad controlled the battlefield, guiding opponents into disadvantageous positions. In minutes, the threats were neutralized, leaving the energy core, the final objective, unguarded. Arya grabbed the core, signaling the squad to retreat. The exit was perilous, with collapsing platforms and drones attempting one final ambush. The squad moved in perfect synchronization, each cadet reacting instinctively to Arya's guidance. By the time they reached the extraction point, the trial had ended. Silence fell across the arena as sensors confirmed completion. Sergeant Krull's voice echoed triumphantly. "Completion confirmed!" Exceptional performance. The cadets of this squad have surpassed expectations. And the human from Deathworld, you have once again demonstrated why instinct, precision, and calm control cannot be matched. You are not just a survivor. You are a master of the environment and a natural leader. The cadets erupted in whispers and murmurs of admiration. Relt, smiling genuinely, approached Arya. "You did it. You didn't just survive. You led, you strategized, and you saved all of us. I can't believe it." Arya shook her head, smiling faintly. "I didn't do it alone. Focus, coordination, and trust in each other. These are what saved us. Every cadet has the ability to survive if they stay calm and think clearly." Vexa's glowing limbs shimmered softly. "Humans, you truly are exceptional. Not just strong, but wise and precise." Silithar, who rarely spoke, simply nodded. "Deathworlder, you've shown us all what control and instinct mean." Later, in the Academy's central hall, cadets discussed the trial. Most had failed parts of the arena, struggling against its hazards. But Arya's squad had succeeded flawlessly. Stories spread of the Deathworld girl who had led her squad through the final trial without hesitation, neutralizing threats and mastering the environment. Even among the instructors, respect for Arya was unanimous. Sergeant Krull approached her privately. "You have proven more than just skill. You have proven discipline, intelligence, and leadership beyond what most species can achieve. You are exactly the kind of cadet the Galactic Defense Forces need. Remember this lesson. Control your instincts, trust your training, and you can achieve the impossible." Arya nodded silently, understanding the gravity of his words. She had survived Deathworld, survived the Academy, and earned the respect of aliens from across the galaxy. But this was only the beginning. That night, Arya returned to her quarters. She sat by the window, looking out at the stars stretching infinitely across the galaxy. Her journey had begun on a small, dangerous planet. Now she had proven herself in the heart of the galaxy's most challenging academy. She allowed herself a small smile. Humans had always been underestimated. Deathworld humans doubly so. But now the galaxy had seen a glimpse of their true potential. Come precise, unstoppable. Somewhere in the academy, cadets whispered again. Never underestimate a Deathworld human. They will survive anything, outsmart everything, and lead where others falter. Arya's gray eyes shone with determination. There would be more challenges ahead, more threats to face, and more battles to fight. But she was ready. The galaxy would learn that humans were not just survivors. They were masters of instinct, strategy, and courage. And in the quiet of the academy night, Arya silently promised herself she would continue to grow stronger. Not for glory, but to prove the enduring truth of her species. Humans were extraordinary, and the galaxy would never forget it.